Seeing that most of you agree on the fact that we should continue with our tradition of our anniversary April Fool What Ifs, we have decided to deliver, despite the sadness caused by the passing of Akira Toriyama. Many of you seem to hold the sentiment that the best way to honor the memory of a man who brought the world so much joy and laughter is just to keep on bringing the joy and laughter. And although these what ifs tend to be more zany and not necessarily super funny, we've seen a similar idea from the likes of Brother Roga and Data Drain 02. So let's try to imagine a world where instead of the Cell Saga that we are more accustomed to, we have the Old Man and the Clown Saga. It'll be one of the 4 proposed ideas, with one of them being voted on by you fine people to be continued into a longer form of story. So, without further ado, let's rewind time and imagine that the editors of Dragon Ball would simply not intervene. Or put simply, well, Toriyama ignored them.
"We're exactly the same,"
said Goku happily, looking at the radiant aura around himself, which mirrored the one surrounding the mysterious person, who had apparently dispatched the likes of Frieza, now mechanized or had been mechanized, and his father. "Let's find out." The stranger took out his blade and charged at him with a battle cry. The young man stopped mere centimeters in front of Son Goku's face, surprised that the elder of the 2 warriors had simply not moved, not one single inch. "Why didn't you try and avoid it?" he said, slightly irritated, but also slightly surprised.
"I searched your feelings," Goku smiled, "so I knew that you would stop."
This was so bizarre, wow. The foul mood just simply evaporated from the stranger. He simply could not remain mad at this person, and he reciprocated the friendly expression on Goku's face. "Yes, I see. But this time, I'm not gonna stop, got it?" he asked in a more competitive manner.
"Sure, do what you want,"
the Saiyan exclaimed, casually, seemingly accepting the challenge. This time, he raised his finger, which was covered in an even denser golden aura. As the swordsman tried to attack, this time much more vigorously than before, he was able to block the Super Saiyan, the older one, his every slice with just slight movements of his hand, almost imperceptible. The blade that not so long ago sliced Frieza into tiny little pieces could not pierce Goku's skin. After this blade storm subsided, the Saiyan just used his finger to block the blade, so his new sparring partner could not move it at all. After a brief and tense moment, the newcomer retreated and effortlessly threw his sword into the scabbard located on his back. Some people considering this a little bit of showing off, but I still find it cool. And then he powered down with a simple smile. "Awesome," he said. "Everything I heard about you is true, then. You're good. No, you're great." There was a lot of hopeful enthusiasm in his voice, despite the raspiness, which did not escape the likes of Goku's attention. "Man, those same moves I just did turned Frieza into cold cuts," he added, seeing as the Saiyan was powering down.
"Your heart wasn't in it this time,"
said Goku. The young man's face suddenly became rather serious after this moment of light-hearted banter and sparring. "I'm sorry about all the secrecy, but I really need your word that you won't tell anyone else what I'm about to tell you." He made sure that he had Goku's full and wide attention.
"Well, I never had a problem exactly keeping secrets, but you have my word."
The Saiyan kept his friendly stance and attitude throughout, seemingly becoming more and more intrigued by the origins of the stranger. "Thank you. My name is Trunks, and this is gonna sound really strange, but I'm not from this time. I came here with the help of a time machine. In fact, I come from this spot 20 years in the future." The young man left a dramatic pause, allowing his comrade in arms to digest the information.
"Really? From the future? That's incredible!"
Goku's face had almost a childlike wonder upon hearing this news. "Yes, Vegeta was right. Only you, him, and Gohan have Saiyan blood in you. And I got mine from him," Trunks continued, making sure that he had the full attention of the older fighter still, and that it hadn't moved on. "He's my father," he added, in case he wasn't clear.
"What?"
Goku's eyes widened in a shocked expression.
You're kidding me! You're absolutely sure that Vegeta's your father?
Yes, I am half Saiyan, half Earthling.
Whoa, you're serious, huh?
Goku examined his facial features. He wasn't making this up. There was something similar on closer glance about things of his face that resembled the prince, but there was also something else, which the Saiyan could not pinpoint as of now. Vegeta's son. My gosh, yes, yeah. He could see the resemblance. I will be born exactly 2 years from now, the young man added.
No kidding. Vegeta, huh? Wow. He's gonna be a daddy. That's incredible. Man, who would have ever thought that would happen?
Goku, Trunks cut the Saiyan's enthusiastic speech with a rather sharp mention of his name. I didn't come here to tell you just that. I have to talk to you about something else. In 3 years' time, on the month of May 12th at 10 a.m., a horribly destructive duo will show up on an island 9 miles exactly southwest of South City. They have dreadful powers. Even by our standards, they're monsters, Goku. That's the best way I can describe them. Monsters. Once this pair surfaces, the Earth and everything you know will be gone for good. His face had grown more and more troubled as he continued with his statement, almost like he had unearthed some horrible memories that he thought he would never have to relive to anybody.
Okay, what's their deal? Are they aliens?
This was the time that Goku started to become serious as well, and to the point. No, they're both androids created right here on Earth. They are ruthless, and they delight in causing pain, chaos, and misery for all concerned. Hunting me down is one of their favorite hobbies. It's sport to them. And since it's 2 against 1, there's not much I can really do against them other than just survive and run. Trunks sounded like he tried to justify himself, even though Goku wasn't really judging him.
What about the others? Aren't they helping you?
The Saiyan felt really bad for the boy. Why had he carried all of this weight on his own shoulders? Surely Piccolo and Vegeta and Krillin would have been able to help. And maybe his best friend Clearin. They can't. They're dead, Trunks responded dryly, which caused a muffled grunt from Goku. 3 years from now, the Earth Special Forces, your friends, will be gone. I'm all that's left, and I'm doing the best that I can. They're all gone. All of your friends will lose their lives against the androids. There will be only one survivor, that being my mentor and best friend, Gohan. He narrowly escaped from that battle, but later, 13 years later, they finally got him. Those last words in particular sounded like Trunks' pain was very deep. Goku, having heard all of this, tried to change the subject a little bit, seeing how much these particular thoughts and emotions were harming the boy considerably. There was also one big elephant in the room that had not been addressed.
Hey, Trunks, wait up. What about me? Did I die in battle as well?
He asked, very, very genuinely interested. No, you died before it.
What?
Goku went pale. He didn't die in battle? Then how did he die? Not too long from now, you're gonna catch a new virus that attacks the heart, and you're gonna die from it. The shocked expression left the Saiyan speechless for a good while. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, Goku. It's a radical new virus, never before seen on Earth, and you'll start experiencing its symptoms rather soon. Not even a Super Saiyan can beat it, and I'm not sure Senzu Bean will do much good either.
What a bummer. Being killed by a stupid virus.
Goku was visibly upset and annoyed. That wasn't how he envisioned his final fate, but in an unexpected twist, the boy smiled and handed him a small pill bottle. Take this. This is for your health.
My health?
It's medicine. There's no cure now for that nasty virus that you're about to experience, but in my time, there is. It's just a shame that we couldn't make it in time to save you. But here, we might have a chance. There was something mysterious about how Trunks worded that sentence. Take this when you get sick, the moment you start feeling it, and you'll be fine.
You're kidding me. This little thing can save my life and means I can keep fighting? Whoa.
Goku was really happy, and his wide smile returned to his face.
Awesome.
I shouldn't be doing this, Goku. I'm causing a lot of damage to history right now just talking to you. But sometimes, history has to change. Trunks looked to his feet. Things are rather bad in my future. We live in fear. It's terrible, but if you survived, it could change anything. Everything. You could make a difference. My mother told me that you could, and now having met her, I believe her wholeheartedly. He raised his head, looking at Goku with hope.
Your mother knows me? Hey, am I gonna meet her someday? Or do I already know her?
The Saiyan was getting rather curious again, looking at Trunks' face. There was that familiarity again, something that he remembered and recognized was there. Unexpectedly, the boy blushed and looked at his feet again.
No,
he uttered silently.
Oh, wow. I know your mom? Huh. Does she live by me or something?
Goku's mind was almost getting there, but he needed that little bit more confirmation. Still blushing, Trunks pointed gently toward the group of his friends, watching them from afar. She's standing right over there. In a bit of shock, amusement, and bewilderment, especially for the coupling, Goku collapsed to the floor.
Bulma's your mother?
Of course she was. He knew it before. He just couldn't believe it in the face. I know it's bizarre, but trust me, they'll find a way to each other rather soon. But do not tell them, as it might mess things up, and I might not be born, and therefore you might not remember me telling you what I've told you.
Of course, don't worry. I promise.
Whoa. Goku nodded. Trunks smiled, reassured. I better be going back to my time. My mom is worried sick, and she needs to know that everything went okay, and that the time machine worked as it should.
Yeah, sure. Please tell her that I send my love and good wishes. And thanks for this. This is gonna be real handy. You're pretty awesome.
Hey, you helped me just now in a lot of ways, even in the future. I should be thanking you. As the boy took out a capsule from his pocket, a strange vessel appeared. That, of course, had to be the time machine. See you in 3 years. I'll be there to join you against the threat. Trunks bowed and entered the vessel. It really looked like something Bulma would have built. I mean, of course, the Capsule Corp logo on it would have actually given them a clue. And Goku nodded.
We'll be waiting and training as well. See you soon.
He gave Trunks a little salute and watched how the time machine just vanished. A new challenge was about to happen in 3 years, but someone had given Goku a new fighting chance. A chance he was not going to waste. The old man was lying on a bed in near complete darkness. Only the steps of something heavy were breaking said silence. 19. Report on the data we have received, he said with a hoarse voice.
Sadly, our drone has been destroyed. It didn't receive the full data as intended, but we have a new fighter involved. He seems to have been rather capable of the same transformation as Son Goku. It was also worth noting that he dispatched the alien threat all by himself,
his assistant responded. He had a robotic, emotionless voice, but also rather high. It's a little bit of a weird juxtaposition. Well, the old man coughed loudly. It seems that we need to step things up, as the young'uns say.
Doctor?
The only concern that his helper could express was on a purely logical level. There were no emotions programmed into this doll-like entity. You heard me. Most of the critical systems of this body are already done with. As for battle readiness, we can improve it after we've finished the procedure.
Considering your receding health, that could be unwise.
The robot checked the doctor's medical history. If we don't do that, my body will fail me rather soon. This is a do-or-die maneuver. You will not question my orders any further. Although what he said was rather harsh, the tone was soft, almost father-like. Well, as best as he could when he's, dying. Not many entities would speak to Android 19 in such a way, considering that part of his design was based on a doll that the Doctor had acquired long ago. But still, the android knew its orders and its programming. He turned on the lights. As of late, they rarely used them, as they hurt the Master's eyes.
I will prepare a suitable dose of anesthetic,
19 said. Use only the minimal amount. We cannot risk my brain activity going to too low. The android decided not to comment about the odds or the risk of the whole thing. His logical circuits were sure that his creator was well aware of the risk. He brought a second bed, one containing an almost perfect copy of his master, but in pieces. The most haunting piece was the head. As it was missing the top of it, the Doctor looked into its empty eyes, his own eyes. If everything worked as intended, that would be his key to immortality. 19 walked slowly to his bed, which raised itself like a surgical one, with just a few presses of a few buttons. He saw his minion's pale round face above his eyes. With great precision and a black marker, he made a line around his head, which divided a massive part of his cranium. In fact, the same part of the artificial body that had been missing. He was then given a mask to breathe in. The anesthetic was weirdly sweet in flavor, leaving an odd taste in his mouth. Slowly but surely, his body began to feel numb, but he was still aware. He had to be aware for all of this to work out. Too far gone, and he would be gone. He saw how his assistant had cleaned a dome-shaped container and placed it upside down whilst filling it with a bluish liquid.
Are you ready, Doctor? Shall we begin?
19 asked coldly. Yes. His voice was weak and distorted by the mask. Suddenly, he felt some warmth as a thin laser beam started to singe his forehead and move along the line that had been drawn on his cranium. It still hurt. How could it not? But this was something he could work with, because without the anesthetic, he would have been screaming and flexing in pain. This very sensation could be too intense and would kill his declining body. But with this level of anesthetic, it was enough to tolerate. He felt the cold hand of the android touch his skull. That feeling was very uncomfortable. And after a while, a pull, which was the most horrifying sensation he had ever experienced, and then darkness. For what felt like an eternity, he was alone with his thoughts. Memories of Gero and his failed mission. Was this what death felt like? Alone? In this lightless void? Were all of those years of meticulous plotting all for naught? Suddenly, he felt something connect. It felt as if his spinal cord had started to work again, but it was different this time. Colder. He wasn't afraid anymore. His vision had returned. That sense of impending doom had disappeared. Clearer than ever he was, without the rigors of old age. He clenched his fists, as one of his hands had already been attached. 19 had already connected the head to the torso and one of the arms. He turned his head to see the body of a man, de-brained, pale, lifeless, weak. No longer him.
Doctor, are you here with me?
His assistant asked. Yes, 19. I am. His voice stronger than ever. Not the tone of a dying elderly human, but of an immortal entity. It worked perfectly. And that's where we're going to be leaving things for right now.